guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're back on our 2GR FE build for the 91 MR2. And I mentioned it in the last video, but I know there are a lot of new subscribers and you guys probably have no idea what I'm doing with this engine. You see MR2s floating around the place, but you're just not sure where we're going, what exactly are we doing on this channel. So I wanted to take a moment to kind of stop, break, and kind of show you guys what's up. So this is my 2GR FE engine. Bought it off of eBay. We're trying to prep this engine, make it look nice, make it reliable to go into a 91 MR2. Now, if you have not followed along with me and you're new to the channel, I want to kind of show you what we are. Basically, I love MR2s and I have so far collected 2 of them. So I'm going to show you what the cars are right now. I have a 93 MR2 non-turbo, which we turboed, and then I have a 91 non-turbo, which we're going to 2GR swap. So let me show you what exactly we're doing here. Here's the engine and this is where it's going. I'll start off by showing you the 2GR. So here it is. If you've been watching along, you kind of know what that is. There's a lot of question about what this engine is for. This is a Gen 4 3S GTE. I'd originally bought this one after doing my Gen 5 swap because I was going to do another turbo, and then I decided to change course and go 2GR. So let's head over. Let me show you what the MR2s that I currently own, what those look like. This is my Subaru. I had this for years. Very low mileage, very clean example of a Subaru. So if you're into Subarus, let me know. This is really just a time capsule at this point. All original, done a bunch of upgrades. Brembo's full 6-speed swap. I'll just kind of give you a quick preview of this. As you can see, very, very clean. This car is basically brand new, to be honest with you guys. I really don't drive it a lot. Just one of those things from back in the day. I fell in love with Subaru and just kind of kept it and preserved it. But this is what I'm into now these days. I'm into MR2s. So this is my 93 MR2. This one has the Gen 5 3S GTE swap. Again, very clean, at least in my opinion, very clean, especially what we're seeing these days. And I'm just kind of curious. I see a lot of, I watch MR2s just to kind of see what the price points are, what they're selling for. I'm curious, have you bought an MR2 recently? And if you did, what did you actually pay for it? Because we see these prices skyrocketing. It's one thing for a seller to ask a certain price. Question is, are they really getting it? So this is what I affectionately call the TRD MR2. This is where we're gonna put the 2GR FE. So, this is what, if you're following along and trying to figure out what exactly we're doing here, it's really to get a V6 into this car. And this is a 91. Real quickly, just kind of show you the swap here. That's the swap, that's the Gen 5 3S GTE. That was done on my 93. And yeah guys, this is kind of like what we're all about. So, I have 2 MR2s. As you can see, they're both white. Kind of did some striping here, the TRD retro look, to make this one a little bit different. All in all, I think they came out, they have their own personality. And now we're gonna add a little bit more personality by putting this engine into the second one. All right, so with that said, hope this kind of got you guys all caught up. We're gonna move right into it. We're gonna finish up getting the right side of the engine here finished up, belts, pulleys, water neck and everything put on this side, and then we'll see what else we can do in this video, but that's what the plan is for today. Alright guys, so we're on the 2GR here. So last video we did the seal behind the crank pulley, we did the water pump. I still need to torque this crank pulley, torque these bolts, but I'm going to wait a little bit. What I want to do today is get this thermostat housing in, and basically it goes back on right here. So we got these bolts, but there are 2 O-rings that we got to get replaced. So these came with the water pump kit. So one is right here, goes on this pipe over here. The other one sits into this channel right on the water pump. So what I'm going to do right now is get these in, and we're going to put some soapy water basically on the inside and around here so we can slip these things on. Because the idea is you don't want to damage this while you're getting this slipped on, and you also don't want them to fall off or displace when you're trying to bolt this thing down. So let's get right into that. I'm going to get these out of the bag, slip them on, and then we're going to bolt this thing up. Pretty easy, but with everything here, we show it on the channel. We're also going to put a new thermostat. So the thermostat goes right in here, but I can show you that once I have it mount it up here, and then we will get the thermostat in place. All right, so let me get my O-rings out of this little bag, and we'll take these bolts out for now. Small detail was that, as you can see, I had them painted because they were a little bit rusty and corroded like everything that was on this engine. So we'll get these out, we'll lay them off to the side, and just gonna get ready. Alright, so I had this in here, just gonna keep it clean, and I'm gonna pop this off. So essentially what I'm gonna do, just take a little pick like this and just get under the rubber here, try not to score anything. And we're gonna slip this O-ring off. Just like that. And it's as easy as that, guys. And now we're just gonna lube these up, slip this one over, and then we're gonna get that one in place right there. So let me do that. All right, so let's see if our icing kit has the same O-ring as what we just took off. So there we go. That looks about right. All right, so this is our new one, so let's go ahead and put it on. All right, that goes on, and then this one basically sits in this channel right here. Now sometimes these can, you gotta be a little bit careful. I've seen guys put a little bit of grease inside here to hold it in, but just when you put it in, see how comfortable you feel if you think it's gonna pop out, and then when you obviously put your housing on, just make sure you're monitoring this, that it doesn't fall outside of the channel. All right, but that seems like it's pretty in there, so let's get the housing and slap it on. All right, I'm gonna get some soapy water. I just wanna kinda get this thing, I guess, slippery. So when I slide everything in, it doesn't bump on the O-rings, and it just kind of seats nicely. So I want to get a nice slipped in. So just a little bit of soapy water. Put some here, put some on the end of the rubber as well, inside here, and then we're just gonna go put this up. Final step to get this housing on, we're going to torque these 2 bolts and the 1 nut here. We're going to torque them to 7 foot-pounds, which is the equivalent of 84 inch-pounds, which is what I have on my torque wrench here. So let's go ahead and do that. So 7 foot-pounds, guys. If you're doing this, you have the torque spec right here. And I'm just going to go, there you go. Does not require a lot of torque, so don't go crazy. All right. As you can see, hard to see, but basically nothing to get these tightened on. All right, so now we're gonna get the thermostat in. I do have a new thermostat from Ison as well, so we'll show you how I put that in here, torque that up, and then pretty much this is done. So the O-ring, it slips in on the bottom. This one is just the clamp right here for the hose, and you're done. Let's get this thermostat in. All right, so here's my thermostat. Let's see, where's this part number? That's the part number I'm using. I think it's pretty much the same for 3S GTE and this car. So we'll get it out of the box. You know, I'll probably actually get the old one and compare it. And you have a little gasket that comes with that. That's a separate part number. So there you go, that's the gasket. All right, so just so you guys have a reference. And let me just grab the old one so you guys can see the comparison. Okay. All right, so looking at these side by side, again, it looks pretty identical. This one is actually, you can see it has a Toyota decal on it. So that's the original one that came with the car. And I didn't see anything scratched off on this Ison one, so, but it says 82 degrees, so it's pretty much the same. And if you look, design is pretty much the same. Now, one of the things that I'm gonna do, which a lot of guys don't, you see this little jiggle valve right here? I cut these off because somehow with the MR2 it helps with burp in the system, and I did that on the 3S GTE and it works fine. So it's really used, I guess, in colder climates to kind of keep this thermostat fully closed. I'm not quite sure exactly what it does, but I cut it out of mine, and I'm gonna say I think the reason why I don't have issues burping these cars is because of this, or it helps. So I'm gonna cut this out. You guys can leave it in if you want to, but I'm gonna cut it out of mine. All right. All right, so you got to get new gasket on. Should just slip, as you can see, there's a little groove right there. It just slips right in, easy as pie. And then we're gonna go position it in. Now, where I cut the jiggle out, as you can see, I did put a mark where I took it out. So if you look real carefully here, see that little red mark? Get some light. See that red dot? That's how this is positioned. So what I'd say is just kind of, I'll try to get a better angle for you guys here. It's gonna go in where that jiggle is lined up with the red mark. So make a note of it mentally when you're taking it off of your car. If not, you can kind of see here what the orientation looks like. All right, it's a little bit tight up here, but you can still access it. There you go. And we're gonna tighten these two bolts just the same to 7 foot-pounds. All right, we get the torque wrench out. Got it a crisscross pattern. All right, and that's it. So basically we got our thermostat in, new thermostat, new housing on this side. Next up, we got to move on to the other side. So let me show you what's going on over there. Well guys, in an effort to not be all over the place, I just wanted to show you guys the water neck. So this was modified by TCS. So they basically punched a hole in the factory housing. This is on the driver's side of the engine bay, basically. And then they extended this pipe up so we have somewhere to fill for the MR2. Now it would go right here, and I was gonna try to do all of this in one video so we can have the plumbing system set up. Same issue. We got an O-ring right here, we have 2 gaskets which will replace right here and get everything bolted in. But I'm not gonna go ahead and do this today because I'm gonna have to modify, tap and put a threaded hole in here and then kind of do some grinding around the engine bay. So it kind of helps if I'm doing this work on this side to not have the thermostat housing in the way. So I'm gonna leave this off for last once I finish prepping this area, which there are some modifications we have to do to this side to get the transmission to fit. So I just wanted to show you, but we're not gonna do it today. We're gonna go back to the side that we were working on. And as you can see, I have some stuff on the floor here. I have our alternator, the tensioner bracket, we got a new pulley, and then we have the Frankenstein Motorworks custom engine mount, which we're gonna kind of mock up and see how does that work, because it looks like I may have to do a little bit of grinding, although it should be plug and play, but we'll see. So let's go back to the right side of the engine and then start figuring out what we're gonna do from there. So this engine mount was the first thing we revealed when we're doing this 2GR build, and I really haven't mocked it up on the engine yet. So it comes with the engine mount, it comes with 3 bolts in the kit, so we're gonna see how this fits. I know Frankenstein has come out with a 2-piece kit, so this is now the older version for the right side engine mount of the 2GR in an MR2. But let's look at this and see. So we have 1 hole and then 2 up here. So our 3 bolts, I'm gonna assume, let's see, these are the same length. So I'm gonna guess that they go something like this. Let's see what it looks like. So we're gonna put this in. And I know Frankenstein did mention we may have to do some grinding to be able to take the belt on and off in terms of a service mode. But we're gonna mock it now and see if we need to do any clearances or if this is just gonna work plug and play. So looking at it, bolts up really nice as expected. I mean, Frankenstein been doing this for a little bit now. As you can see here, it's, I don't know if you can see that, but see that gap? It's very tight. So more than likely, if you were to put your belt on, you would not be able to replace the belt without taking this engine mount off. So he recommended kind of grinding off some of this area so we can get the belt on and off. So for that reason, I'll save that for a different video and we'll kind of grind and test fit, but at least we know it works and how it's positioned. Now we can move on to the front here and get the tensioner on. Probably put the alternator in place and the AC compressor, mock that up. So let's do that and see what we get. So I get into the front of the engine as it would sit in the MR2 now. We have the tensioner bracket and that's gonna go something like this. So I painted all these bolts and everything. These are the ones I bought these for the AC. So let's try to swap these out so we don't get these things confused. All right. The good news with a 2GR is there's a lot of information on the internet. So if you just basically type in 2GR FE, you're gonna see all these specs. So that's a good thing. So while you're getting it here, I mean, I'm getting it from the internet, but you know, it just helps as you watch these videos. You know, you can instead of going to do the research, we have it all here, and you know, hopefully you guys find it useful. I mean, listen, if I could just watch a video instead of having to research, I'd probably prefer that. It's more entertaining, but I guess I'm giving you guys options, right? So here we go. We're gonna get this in. So we're gonna tighten the top bolt first and the lower right bolt. That's 1 and 2. And 32 foot-pounds, 1, 2, and then we move on to the other 3 over here, right? So these are 5 bolts all together. There is a tensioner, which is this guy that we're gonna put here as well. And this one is also a 32 foot-pound, so we'll install that right after. But this is our tensioner. I'm actually reusing this one because it felt pretty good and I cleaned it up. So I'm trying to save a little money here and there. But we'll just go ahead, get these buttoned up. And tell me what you guys think about the black and silver look. I actually like it, you know. I know sometimes when you look at it, the engine outside of the car, it doesn't look that great, but the black to me really looks good once it's installed inside the vehicle. Doesn't really jump out at you and just kind of blends in really nice. So far I'm kind of digging the black and silver look. Alright guys, so what do we have next? We have our alternator, so we can get our alternator in. I did end up getting a brand new alternator. I tried to buy a used one. This thing was seized up, so I hear a lot of reviews that basically say just go buy yourself a new one. And at this point, I'm gonna have to kind of agree with everybody. Just buy yourself a new one, because I don't think this is by any means an easy process to replace an alternator once this engine is in either. So a lot of engines will come with this bracket missing as well. I have the part number. If I find it handy, I'll put it up. If not, you can reach out to me, I'll let you know what it is. But if you don't have this bracket, you're probably gonna need to get it. You can get it from Toyota, it's like 20 bucks. Fortunately, I have one here. All right. And this bolt is kind of tricky. It should thread in like nice and easy. This one I had to play around with it because however this thing was positioned, it wasn't straight. So don't force this bolt, otherwise it'll cross thread this thing, all right? Should be able to hand tighten just like I'm doing right here. Alright, so for now, I'm probably not gonna tighten this up 100% as yet, because I want to try the headers first and kind of get everything mocked up. But we're just kind of mocking everything to see how this is gonna work when our belts are gonna go like this. Gotta put the AC compressor here, so let's try to get that one in. Alright guys, so we're starting to make some progress. This is starting to look more like an engine now with all our pulleys. I'm gonna go ahead and replace this pulley right here. And here we go. I have painted the bolt. There's a washer on either side. So we'll get the washer back in. And it looks like that. And we'll just go ahead and bolt this in. Again, I'm not going to torque anything yet because this is really just kind of like the mock phase. But for the purpose of the video, you guys see what's going on. 32 foot-pounds if you need to torque that guy down. And as you can see, I still have all of these pulleys. This needs to be torqued, that needs to be torqued, that needs to be torqued. Alternator needs to be put in. So now we're going to mock up our AC compressor, see what that looks like. And then we're probably gonna call that a wrap for today, okay? Here we have our 1GR AC compressor. So this is from a Toyota 1GR engine. So that's the part number right there. Let's get it out of the box. Let's see what this looks like. And these come pre-oiled. So again, I know nothing about AC, so I'm assuming pre-oiled means when I bring it to the guys to refill it, and they don't need oil. All right, it does have some O-rings here. The lines we're gonna have to get from TCS. They actually sell a kit for that. But let's get these bolts out. Now you're probably not gonna end up with these bolts, so you have to buy them from Toyota. So I did get these bolts here. So we're gonna use, looks like, yeah, here you go, 3 of them here. So it looks like 3 bolts is what we're gonna use to secure this. We'll just mess around with this right here. So these bolts are caught on. So you guys get a basic idea. I think I say that word a lot, basic idea. Well, there you go. So that is our engine making some progress. New compressor, new alternator, new pulley, and just kind of getting it looking nice. So, and again, you see the black and silver, so I'm liking it so far. But that's all the time we're gonna have for today. Hope you guys are enjoying the series. I'm probably sweating. It's getting hot here in Florida, moving into April, but we're taking our time and moving forward. So again, I asked earlier in the video, if you've bought an MR2 recently and you feel you're open to sharing, let us know what you've paid for it, what condition it was in. Just trying to get a feel for where we are. We know the prices skyrocketed. We want to try to figure out, are they still skyrocketed? Are those prices going up, coming down, or people are asking and not getting what they're asking price for these cars. So I'll catch you guys on the next one, and thanks for watching.